Hey there, Capricorn. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, click that subscribe and ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, give us that big thumbs up, like, and share. Share with your friends, share with your peeps, share with your family. Help us get this message out. We want our world to be bold, bright, and beautiful because you are in it. We are here to bring the encouragement, the energy sessions, whatever it needs to help you level up into your truth, into your passion right here now. Today. And the more people we get leveling up, the more we lighten the burden of this world and we make it a better place for us all. So thank you for being here. And thank you for those who have sown a donation into the channel. I have many new decks that have come in and it has been fun writing the wavelengths of these new informations. So anyways, let's take a look. This week is about surrender to love, Capricorn, and you have been working on that. But you were telling me in the shuffling and the moving of the deck, you were like, well, we don't have to choose just one. I'm like, what? Because Sagittarius was about choosing the one. And then you were like, look, Joy. And you were talking about the energy. And I said, yeah, you don't have to choose just one. You're choosing love and money. That is Capricorn's essence. And when you allow love to come in alongside the money, then you begin to rule and reign in authority and in power. And that's what you need, is the synergy of the both. So I only have a few cards out already, and what it's letting me know coming in is there's a bit of healing to go on before we get to the love side. So it's having to do with money. It has to do with some bondage, some snags, and some snare. And maybe not even something that's currently going on, but just something that was left, kind of like some landmines to dig up or some old barbed wire to cut away. Whatever it is, there's just a little bit of cleanup to do, but ultimately it leads to this radiance. It leads to the sun. It leads to the power of your voice, calling out that even as you breathe, life speaks unto life, and it is drawn to you. And it's like, I'm like, ooh, thank you. I'm so excited about that, Capricorn. I don't know if you know, but I am a Capricorn sun. My Capricorn Mercury are right side by side. So they in first house. And they say that makes you like a double sun. So whatever. As long as these lips get the message to you. So let's find out. So we have 51 at the top. And it's talking about using your power to manifest yourself, to see who you are. And you have not seen the depth nor the fulfillment of who you are, because what you kept seeing is what you could do for others, what you could do for others. Because they're like, oh, that's too hard, give it to Cappy. Oh, that's too much, give it to Cappy. Which made sense because physically we are equipped to be able to go to the highest heights in the deepest depths rapidly and with ease, without care, concern, fear, worry, those type of things. So it tends to get completely done. That's just how we're set up. But these last weeks, we've been working through that energy of knowing that we're here for more than that, more than just purpose, but for also the meaning, right? And so you've been opening up and shedding some of that responsibility that's not your job to babysit the world's to-do list. It's your time to have some nourishment and refreshment for yourself, right? Some gleaming and some kissing and some bringing in the sunshine. Having some outdoor time, some playtime, some restorative time. Also being able to build your savings easily to, I could say, save for the future, but to like grow your chamber of dreams, meaning when it's there, the dreams get bigger and bigger and come forth, not because you see it and go, okay, well that fits, I can fit this into that. No, it's that synergy, it's that nature, it's that energy of the love and the money coming together, okay? So we had a rune at the top, and it says profits produced when progress is made. And as you can see, for some reason this card was the one that became smeary, and it's like that bit of a snag, that little bit of something residue still hanging on and holding on to you and keeping you flat on your back. So the progress is almost like an inchworm in this area, and it's like it doesn't have to be. So it's kind of like a governor on yourself, that you were so used to doing the purpose side, right, the money side, so much for others that it's like, well, just for me, then staying at that same level of accomplishment for yourself, even though you've cut back some on what you're doing for others, but you also haven't leveraged that energy over and funneled it completely into yourself. How do I know? Did you? Queen of Discs. And look, your tears be diamonds, baby. They're faceted diamonds, rich diamonds, wealthy diamonds. But this is innately who you are. I mean, This grows along the roadside for you. This is just who you are, abundantly walking on the wayside as you go. You know, the life springs up under your feet. But you're showing me where there was still a bit of that snag and tethering going on, like the ring and the ox's nose being led along by life. And that's not how true life wants to lead you. That's just how the living has been doing. That it has blocked a bit of your healing, the healing of the healer, because all these coils and Fibonacci's everywhere is talking about Chiron. Talking about Chiron. So I want to discover and uncover what is behind your other eye, so that we can let this abundance flow through and flow in. I want some green, some green, some green. Where are we going to get it? Oh, I left the Mary L with the bottom of the deck face up because that's where I pulled the sun from. We wanted to find where you were headed. And here's the Two of Discs. That's hilarious. This is so very Capricorn. You want to green up, and it's chironic. And it's about being able to merge all the layers and commit. So commit to yourself, commit completely, and that's going in the healing channel. Because if you ever do anything with photography and things like that, you can lay the layers. And as you adjust and refine each layer, eventually you merge them. And once you merge, they're stuck together into this one image. So you're letting me know, because it's coming in under the Healer of Ages, all right, that it's time to commit to yourself. And that's what he's beckoning and talking to here, because he said, if you knew the magnificence of your will united with your heart, meaning that your heart is pure, your heart is good, your passion is beautiful, and that is how you're going to change our world and contribute to the lives of others. That as you had to begin to shut down and close off some of that meaningless stuff, because people could just have you go get their coffee, and while you're out, could you pick this up? And it was just kind of like prattle. It was things that just ate off so much magnificent wealth and energy, this beauty, this divine power, and they're wanting to merge it all into you, because through that, and as you build up those savings that we were talking about, right, it's not just about money here, it's about your energy savings. Look at this. This is all that sun. Can you see it? Can you see it flowing into you, flowing through you, emanating and radiating out, that you become a human sun? That's fantastic. Okay, yeah, now it's like bling, bling. Now it's your mind lighting up too, and you're like, I got the picture, I've got the idea. Can you see blinging up? And that's what's going to happen. When the conjunction comes together, you become one, you become whole. Are you ready for love, Capricorn? Not being good enough. Are you ready to be loved? Are you ready finally to be able to love somebody the way you love, which is massive, okay? It's massive when you go the highest heights and the deepest depths, and you're there for life, okay? Interesting. Just had to lay that little layer right there. We merge in that layer, because what is coming in under this Queen of Discs is this energy, okay? Why are you making me go sideways, down, down, sideways? Okay, I'm not going to let you distract me, because that's what you're doing. You're distracting, because this is incoming power. This is like your kidneys, because I think it's the right one is larger than the left, but one is larger than the other. And so the 4 and the 3, and this is the return of your divine power. Oh, man, it's making my nose itch. That is for sure. The final phoenix has arisen and has made the day and made the way. Made the way of the sunflower heart. Made the ability for you to follow the sun. No worrying about provision, no worrying about protection, power, backpacks, butterflies don't have backpacks, all that kind of stuff. Not having to have any concern for any of it. Because the fires of life care for you. You are intimately divined, and that you matter to life and life matters to you, that the price has already been paid, that your blood is not required anymore, and you are completely open. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. This queen just had to come in to let this merging of yourself happen. Do you see? Let me get this. Do you see what happens when you choose you? There we go. This is it. This is you in your fullness of Chiron. And Chiron is in the first house, the house of self. And it is about the healed healer. When you tune into this channel, and this channel, Chiron is the healed healer, not the one who had to learn all the lessons to keep teaching everybody else so that they could be whole, and he stays not whole in order to keep bringing more lessons. No, we've completed and closed that channel, that chapter, and created that circuit. That is very much what is going on here, harnessing the entire wheel, the divine eye of God. Love it. Those lips need to be kissed, my friend. Okay, just saying. Just saying. You're like, now we can look beside the queen. And here's that fool, the butterflies, the gossamer threads, the heart song, the heartstrings. Look at how powerful you are. You see that power between your legs? You see that magic and majesty in your mind? The allowing of Chiron to have healed the wound. For you, that wound was down in your right hip, and it thread up into your heart. It displaced your heart, ironically, and I mean in your chest. Your heart was offset by a couple of inches, having to hide completely behind the sternum instead of being more left-centric. And therefore, that messed up the alignment of your eyes and your mind, and it made life incredibly difficult, which I could see why there was that snag and that smearing. It gave you blurred vision, kind of like a missed trajectory, like you had set out and things maybe cost a little more, got a little harder, or you didn't see that that person was going to do you in, whatever it was. But now you're like, strike up the band, and you're just bringing it all in, and you've got this majesty about you, especially when you move. You're radiant, you're luminescent, you're tried and true. You're pure and powerful. You're charismatic and divine. You are the three graces. Your feet are butterflies. They're inspirational, not just beautiful, but everything about you is a breath of fresh air. Take a look. Look at you, Capricorn. I'm so glad you let us merge you so that you could see how amazing you are, because as you see it, then the world can see it. And as you know it, then the world can know it. Not like, oh, Capricorn, that's not even why we're doing it. You couldn't even get to this if that was why you were doing it. It would be a falsehood. It would not even be real. It would be a mask and not reality, not your truth. Your truth has become your reality. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's what I got to say about that. Now you're like, and I'm like, what? Whisper in my ear. What you gotta tell me? The Five of Wands. Look at your love power, your heart, your love shine coming on in. Your soul shine is ripped, roaring, and ready to go. This is like, y'all, this is fantastic. Like, remember how I said even your breath? This is like your breath, just like charge. You know, it encourages others. Look at this magnificent encouragement. It travels through the enchanted forest, even by night, that there is no fear, terror, threat anymore. It lights up the dark, and it lights it up like Christmas. Talk about that inspiration, that majesty. Man, I gotta let y'all look again. I mean, look at it. Look at it. It's like charge. We're taking the world by charge, aren't we? Here at Joy of the World. That's the desire of my heart, is to encourage you to such a state that you take the world by storm. And this isn't by force or determination or anything like that. It is the pure magic of your heart and the divineness of who you are, the radiance of who you are. When you decide to allow yourself to merge and your tears to fertilize our world, and for you too to green up and to be made whole as well, that is the thing that lights it all up. The healer of the ages, of the times, which is the wheel. And when your wheel is healed, you become the healer of the world. And our world gets healed, and that makes it like, as your feet touch the earth. I remember the earth telling me that as one person becomes healed, every time that person's foot strikes the earth, it tunes with the earth, and the earth will touch all the other people with that magic, with that majesty, with that magnificence. I hope you're catching that. I hope your spirit and your soul are getting it, my friend. Okay, so talk about some abundance and overflow coming on in. This Four of Cups is like being overtaken. It's like abounding and overflowing with all the joys and the provision of life, that you can relax and you can rest and you can refresh, that life will be a refreshment for you, an embodiment of the pure joy of life. And the Nine of Swords in this deck is divine divination, the full divine self coming in spirit aligned with you, bringing in trees of life into your entire community, into your entire planet, that no more is it the buffeting and the buffering and all that about, hardship in the world and that we deserve it and we earn it, we've worked hard for it. No, it's literally like, I am. And so others are like, well, me too. And you're like, yeah, you are. And we're all like, oh, la, 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 tra, la, 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 like the Keebler elves, right? Baking up them cookies in that tree. What? That tree of life. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, so now you're like, joy. All right, so let's take a look. We're going to peek at the Antique Anatomy Tarot for your love. I thought that's pretty interesting. But you are the secret kinky one. We know it. All right, there's one. I need a few more. Let's get something on the love for Capricorn here. I see you. Yes. Get one more. Okay. Interesting. You have one face down. So you got a little bit of a secret. These two need to face each other and talk. Interesting. We have the Knight of Rods and the Knight of Coins. Talk about love and passion. You're like, well, even when we get into love, work is still taking over a little bit. Okay? So let's let that breathe. Everything, there's room for everything. And if you know that there's room, time, space for everything, you are the master of time. You are the master of space. That's what Saturn is about, okay? So if you know there's room and there's time and there's a place for everything, let these two talk. They don't have to have their backs turned. This is you coming into harmony. One thing's neat, so like my younger son, he loved the fact that when we were singing beside each other, one day, I'll get there. He was about 2.5, maybe 3, and he was just singing, and he was sitting up at the countertop, and I was cooking. I started to move past him, and he heard the sound get round, rich, and full as I got near him. And he was like, Mama, do that again. So I turned around and leaned towards him, and as we did, we were like this far apart. The sounds coming from our mouths merged and echoed and enriched and made this full body and vibe. And that's kind of what's going on here. That if you turn and face each other, it's going to enrich the vibe. It's going to make the sound full and rich, that you won't feel that anything is going to have to suffer in order to have both, okay? Because you came in knowing that you have both. You're like, I don't have to choose one. I'm like, no, you don't. You sure don't. It's the and. It's not the or. It's not the or. No more hard work. No more paddling to shore. It's about saying the wind, setting the sails. Remember, it's about the overflowing. It's about the knowing what you're here for, okay? All right, so we're just going to let these two talk. We're going to let them face each other, and we're going to let your energy begin to return to yourself. So I put you together over there in the simplicity of life. Life becomes very simple, very crystal clear for you. There's no clutter, there's no debris, there's no excess, any of that. And it's not out of restriction and discipline, which would seem very Saturnian, right? It's just out of acceptance. It's out of knowingness. You're telling me to get a room for the top. So that's what we're going to do. Because you're like, that'll explain it, Joy. I'm like, okay. And I'm going to say it like it's showing it to me. I stand still. And this is the standstill symbol right here. And it's about integrity. It's about your beauty. It's about you being aligned, right? Being the same on the inside as you are on the outside. Seeing yourself, facing yourself, allowing the beauty, the resonance, the fullness to confirm yourself. And it says, the funny thing is I could read them all, but the only thing on here that you're talking about matters is release and submit. You're like, stand still, release, submit. And the thing is, you're like, I stand still. I'm not going anywhere. But it's like, then if you're here, release and submit. Release and submit. Let it be crystal clear. So with that going on, we're going to take a peek at the mystery card. Let's see what it is. Oh, no wonder. You talk about the Ace of Cups here. You're like the star on top of the tree, the zenith, the pinnacle, the high life. That's exactly what it is. It is the cornucopia and the full abundance. It is the whole Garden of Eden coming on in. You're like, well, I was kind of afraid some of that might happen if I got on the same page with myself and began to get in tune with myself, because I'm capable of a lot. I'm capable of much. I have so much to give, so much love to share. And I'm telling you, you're sounding like Cancer right now. So some of you, it may be a Cancerian. Also in your best friends, but your lover should also be your best friend, meaning it should have a foundation of friendship that the flowers of love come forward from, the fruit of love comes forward from, the joy, the fruit, it abounds from. And you're showing me that that is what this abundance is, but I see the seal is still on the jar. And it's a jar of luxury, a jar of opulence. It's a jar that you've paid a great price for. It's your beauty of your heart, but it's also showing me the heart of the other person. This other person, I can't say that you've met them yet, or you haven't met this facet of them yet. Because you remember you had the backs, you had them like this, right? You were like, don't look at me like that. We're just neighbors. We're just friends. We're just coworkers. We're just. And it's like, oh, you know, and you're like, I knew this was going to pop on up because I'm so full of love and rich and abounding. I have so much to give. I mean, even my tears were diamonds, Joy. And I'm like, I know you were the gossamer string fool. You're the radiance of the sun, bringing in the charge of that lion, that 5 of wands, your manifestation power. And now the beauty of your heart. But the thing is, you have a lifetime to share this. But do take the seal, take the wrapper off. Not that wrapper, unless you want to have children. I'm not telling you about that, but leave that wrapper on. But take this wrapper off, the wrapper off. Your heart. Y'all are hilarious. How you get me in that position, I don't know. I guess it's because I love you so much. So with that, I want to get a vice versa on your love potion number 1. People are a priority to you, Capricorn. That's okay. You keep popping this. Hold on. Look at there. You like look at the bottom of the deck, and the irony is, remember these they have 2 sides, right? The vice versa. Well, the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Wands, and you're like, whew, I can hear the bird. Whew. It's the song of the spirit rising up, and your wand is greening up because you're excited about all this victory. You're like, this is what life is about. The healer card, the healed healer. This is what life is really about. That's the gleam in my eye, and it's like, It's the meaning you've been working on and working towards and manifesting in for the last several weeks in these readings. But I love what comes in here. So we have the 2 of Wands and the Queen of Wands. Now this 2 of Wands is a card of accomplishment, of mastery. It's not at the beginning of something. It's not making the choice. You chose both, remember? And it's interesting that it came out to reiterate and to confirm. But this whole reading for you has been about confirmation. That's exactly what you are. That's what that resonance is coming in over there. But you've become the master of your own sun, of your own loveliness, of your own divine power. You see that? And you are mirroring the sun to sun. Okay? And for some of you, that'll be you falling in love with another Capricorn. I'm telling you, hey, get your corn and popping, whatever you got to do, baby. But it is looking out over the kingdom and knowing exactly what you want, being able to look past any obstacles or anything, any old mindsets that seem to have held you limited or obscured your view. You're like, I see clearly, I see perfectly now. I see and I've seen and known all along. I just didn't know that I knew. All right. And what came in along with it is the Queen of Wands. Look at you. Man, you've maintained some self-control in that arena for a minute. You talk about, queens are about the action, the movement, and the doing, and the going after and pursuing and all that. She's like, Mom, just wait right here. I'm going to be all self-control because I got this fountain, and I got this rod, I got this passion, and I got this love, and I have been saving up for a lifetime. I love it. Y'all are so much fun. I'm so glad you freed yourself and you've been able to step into the truth of who you are and having your wholeness. But remember, release and submit. Release, remember, take that off. Release and submit. What? Girl, set yourself free. Mister, set yourself free. Begin to take action. Take action. Okay, friend? I love it. So I'm going to get you a pearl to crown the whole thing. I'm like, this is fantastic. This has been so much fun, Capricorn. So show us about the love and money for Capricorn here. What just happened? Is that you? Okay. So the attachment card has come up and it's showing me the hand. I see the hand tethered, but it's weird. It's tethered to an old, dried up, abandoned, broke down water fountain. And remember that youth, that eternalness, that rising up, that beauty. For some of you, you need to set yourself free in your Sagittarius. So check out a Sagittarius reading here or otherwise. But it could also be whatever planet is in Sagittarius and whatever house. Or you may have had a negatively impacting relationship with Sagittarius. And it keeps going Sagittarius. And I'm like, okay. Okay, taking the mask off, being seen for who you totally are and not just how someone else saw you. All right, so here is, look at that. Because that has you all tied up and restrained everywhere. How could this be? Okay. So it's like everything that we just read here was in a letter inside an envelope. It's contained within you. But giving yourself permission, no wonder the release, submit, that makes perfect sense, y'all. As if we didn't already do it, but they're like, you need to illustrate, right? I'm like, release yourself from this bondage. Release, okay. Because that is juxtaposed energy, release and submit. You know, and submit. Submit is kind of like you're telling me, like when you write an email and you've written it all out and you hit submit, it actually goes to the one you're intending to send it to. Remember the one that you were like, no, we're just friends, we're just co-workers, we're just neighbors, we're just passers-by. And then it's like, bing, 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 bing. No, we're just friends, we're just passers-by. Bing, 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 bing. Submit to this, submit to this, submit to this, okay? You know, submit to this. No more of the restrained energy here of holding back your passion, holding back your power. Send the letter, send the note, send the email, send the energy out into the world and send it to yourself, okay? When you allow the letter to be opened, when you allow it to be seen and to be read, and this can all be energetic prose, right? Or proverbial. But when you allow that to occur, you allow all the ages to open, the scrolls, the time, the wisdom, the folds. So it may be somebody you met in another lifetime, or it feels like another lifetime. And you might not have even known it. Maybe they saw you and you didn't see them, and they recognize you, and you're like, have we met before? Or you're friends of friends, and y'all had never met and never knew. Okay? So the mystery unfolds. How exciting, Capricorn. Make sure you leave comments down below. I want to know what's going on in your story, because I get this side of it. I want to know the other side too. I'm so happy to have you here, and I love you from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you the best. Talk soon.